Hey there, it's good to see you. So let's continue our understanding of LangGraph. And in this video, we are going to build a simple agent-based workflow using LangGraph. So first, let's understand what do we mean by an agent workflow. In our previous video, we have built a basic hello world kind of a workflow wherein we were mocking pretty much every single tool call or every single node that we were creating in order to understand what a basic workflow looks like. In this session, however, we are going to introduce our agent into one of our nodes. Now, what exactly is an agent? Let's understand that. So the term agent basically is nothing but a large language model combined with some instruction and some tools together. Now, as we know, an LLM can or cannot have like the capabilities to perform the task that you are requesting it to. If the task it knows, let's say you are doing something called as machine translation, meaning you need the agent to translate a document from language A to language B. Now, such tasks the model already knows intrinsically, so you don't need an additional tool for the model to perform this. But on the other hand, if you want your model to able to book flights, now this particular task the agent cannot perform on its own. It needs additional tools using which it can actually pass on the information from the user, which is, let's say, what's the source, what's the destination, the dates, and so on, using which it will call an API from any airlines, let's say Qatar Airways or whatever, right? So any airways that you want to use, using which it will book the flight based upon the user's behalf. And this is what tools are, nothing but the functionalities or the capabilities that you add on top of your LLM so that it can perform the tasks that are beyond its intrinsic capabilities. And instructions are nothing but how that agent should perform, right? How are you instructing that agent to behave in any situation? That's basically your instruction. An agent is nothing but a collaboration of these three things. So what an agent does, the workflow is basically going to take a user input, what are the reasons about it, and decides what to do next. So that's basically what an agent does. It will read the input, it will reason about it, think what it needs to do, and eventually take the decision. It might make a tool call or it might respond back based upon whatever question the user has asked. And in LangGraph, the agent is basically a node in itself. So remember, we have designed that workflow wherein you start off from initializing the state, taking the user query, and then calling an LLM agent here. So now we are going to replace this, mock response with an actual LLM that is going to read the user input and respond back, right? And then we connect the nodes with others, which are basically input node, output node, whatever post processing you want to add on top of your responses and whatever you want to do. Right? So these basically is essentially a basic agent workflow in which the agent takes the instructions, reasons, and then decides to do next, wherein it basically is a node in the entire workflow, and the workflow then decides when to invoke that agent based upon the precursor node's outputs. So a single agent workflow will look something like this. So what a user will do, user will basically enter the graph as a part of the state. So whatever user message here, we are going to incorporate that into our state and let that state flow into the successor node. And the successor node will be an agent node, which will read the message and the corresponding context of the message, which includes the instructions and such. And the agent node will then call the LLM and append its response into our state. And the graph will then return the updated state, including the answer from the model. That's basically how a simple agent workflow is going to behave. Now, how do you design an agent node? So an agent node is supposed to have an input, which is basically the current state that includes all the context and the messages from the user. And then the code logic, which is basically how that LLM is invoking. Now, remember here, we are going to use OpenAI's model. So here we are going to use the APIs provided by OpenAI to essentially start to interact with our agent. Here we are going to build a prompt, which is basically the instruction that the model has to read. And then internally, the API will call the LLM and generate the responses for us. And the output which is received from the API will be updated in the state with a new assistant message and the corresponding result from it. We'll see this in action in just a second. And typically, the prompt for agent follows these patterns, right? So first of all, the agent is expected to have some system instructions. Consider these system instructions as basically the baseline behavior that you expect from your agent. So this sets up who the agent is. So it sets a persona for your agent and how it should behave when a user is interacting with it. It also needs a conversation history because remember, it's a chat assistant. So here we will provide all the previous conversations so that the agent knows where it is right now and what it has already spoken to with the corresponding user. And lastly, the latest user message, which is the most recent input that you have received from your user, right? That is basically the question to answer right now. And the agent workflow in LangGraph is going to include a list of chat messages, an agent node that converts state into an LLM call and new messages, and edges, which basically define what happens after the agent runs. So here, after the agent run, you can either respond back to the user, or you can call another node, or you can do some sort of post processing into that particular response, things like that. And the same pattern can be used for multiple agents later, which we will take a look in just a second. So in order to observe and debug agent runs, typically it is a good practice to print and log state before and after the agent node. So whenever you are invoking any agent, always remember to add logging to know when an LLM has been invoked and what's the response from it. Also add exception handling to basically log any errors that have come while during the API calls. A lot of times you might have hit rate limiters, or you might have exhausted your budget. So it's very important to have exception handling in place so that you can actually, see and debug if any error has come up. What's the reason for that? And you can then read and debug your application accordingly. And you also need to inspect the list of messages to see how the conversation evolves, right? So whenever you are looking at the previous messages, you can understand what are the previous inputs for the user, and then how the agent has responded back to those questions as well. And always remember, use small and deterministic prompts while building your first graph. Do not overcomplicate it, keep it simple, because we are practicing, so hence we are going to keep these things for minimal as of now. So what are we going to code in this demo? So first of all, we are going to extend our hello world graph into a simple chat style agent, right? So we'll basically replace the mocked node where we are basically hard coding the response with an actual LLM agent call. Then we are going to define a reusable chat state with messages that we have done previously. We'll define this agent node that uses a real, or you can even mock it, but in this case, we are going to use a real LLM. And finally, we'll run the graph with different user questions. So it's up to you which question you want to append there. Let's walk into the hands-on notebook next. So in this particular case, since we are using the APIs from OpenAI, the first thing that we need to have is basically you need to set your environment variable to contain the OpenAI API key. So always remember to have an OpenAI API key in your local environment. This is fairly straightforward. You go to OpenAI's website, set up an environment variable, create a new API key from there, copy it, and in your local environment, just paste it so that you can basically access it using this particular environment variable. Now, to make things simple, what you can do is basically you can create a .env file in your local working directory, right? So you can do something similar to this. Let me show you that really quick. So as you can see in my current working directory, I have this .env file created, which when opened, you will see that it contains the OpenAI API key corresponding to my working directory. Now, by the time you see this video, this will be deleted. But yeah, so this is something you have to do similarly. So go to OpenAI's your project, create a new API key, and define an OpenAI API key environment variable in this .env file, which is basically going to set it up for you. Once you have done that, once you have set your environment variable, then you can use the package .env in Python, which is basically a built-in package. You do not need to install it separately. You need to load this function load.env and then simply call this to essentially load all your environment variables defined in that .env file. If the output from this function is true, it means all the environment variables have been successfully loaded. Then you can import the corresponding packages. So here we are using OpenAI. So hence I'm going to use the class OpenAI from the package OpenAI, create a client which will contain your API key. And then we are going to define a simple function which is going to invoke my client every time I get a conversation input. So here call for LLM agent is basically the function that is going to be called every time I want to generate a response from this agent. So what the text means, this is basically all the conversation that the corresponding agent will respond on top of. And here we can use the chat API from this particular client, here chat.completions.create. And in this case, you will define a model that you have to use. So for this demonstration, I'm using GPT-5 Nano. The messages will contain all the messages that you need to send. So here you can see I have defined a role, which is the system role for this agent. And the content in this particular case is the basic instruction that we spoke about. This is the system instruction that we talk about. So system instruction, you can clearly read, it says you are a helpful assistant explaining LangGraph and LLM workflows to beginners in very simple, clear language, right? So this is basically an overview of what we expect the agent to do. And then we are adding another message in our conversation, which is coming as an input from the user, which contains the conversation text. That is all the text that you want the agent to respond on top of. And then here you can see we have simply told the agent to respond to the user's question clearly and concisely. And then we are returning back whatever response we are getting from the agent. So this is basically how you get the content back from the response which you have taken up. Define this function, and next up we are going to create our state. So this state is basically, as I mentioned previously, we typically initialize it as a type dictionary. Total false indicates that you can have basically all the inputs are optional. Messages is going to contain all the previous messages. The result is the final output, and what's the user input, which is the initial user message. We are going to define our state. And then you can see we have created a user node. This is basically the input node that the user will start the interaction with. So we are going to pass the state. We are going to get the messages. Whatever the user text is, that is the initial user input. In this case, we are setting up a default input, but you can get any input based upon what the API is returning. Then we are going to append this message as a user message, and then we'll update the state and return the updated state back. After that, we are basically defining our agent node, which is basically containing the agent itself. Again, we are going to get all the messages. We are going to create a conversation history, which is going to append all the messages that we have received till now, right? If not, then we'll just create a default message, which is basically to explain LangGraph in simple terms. And then we will call our LLM agent, pass the input conversation that has been created, and whatever response we have received, we are going to append it in our conversation history as an assistant response, which is the agent response. And then we'll update our state, return the result and the messages that we have received from the previous call. And finally, it's time to build up our graph. So here you will notice I'm again instantiating my state graph. And here it is going to take in the state, which is the object of chat state, which we have defined above. We'll first add both of our nodes. One is for user, second is for agent. We'll set the entry point as a user node, which is basically how the interaction will begin. Then we'll add an edge between the user and the agent. And then finally, we'll add an edge between agent and the end result. So end is basically the end of conversation. We'll compile our graph and let's see what the final app look like. So now you can see this is the completed workflow. So we'll start the conversation. It will go to the user will forward it to the agent, and then we'll end the conversation there. To initialize our state, we'll basically set a messages as an empty list, and the user input is the initial instruction which the user has provided. And then we'll invoke our app with the initial state. We'll let the model generate its output, and we'll see what the final result looks like. Remember, this call can take some time depending upon the model and the complexity of the instruction, right? So since you are calling an external API, so it can take some time, but you will notice here, this is what the conversation and output looks like. So in our final state, we have these three results. So conversation is explain the LangGraph, and the assistant has responded back with the entire, response to what LangGraph is and what it does, what it doesn't do, right? So here, all of this is basically the response generated by the model itself, right? So everything is basically the output generated by the model. As an exercise here, you can see we have an updated query as well, which you can run later on and see how the overall response changes when you send a second user input here. And that's all for this particular hands-on. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.